Lovecraft. When it comes to his work, it's all over the place. You can see it not only in his books, but it's inspired in movies, anime, manga, and even video games. The first game is Alone in the Dark. This is a remake of the original 1992 game. This is published by THQ Nordic and developed by Pieces Interactive. The gameplay will have an over-the-shoulder look instead of a fixed angle like how the current Resident Evil remakes are. In this game, you could play as two different characters in their scenarios, which is Edward Carney and Emily Hartwood. The majority of the game takes place in the Descento mansion. As far as the story, well, Emily is looking for her uncle who's gone missing. She hires Edward to investigate what's going on his whereabouts. The more you search for clues, the more the game will deepen into the unknown. The biggest threat is the Dark Man and the cosmic creatures that you encounter. I have to say that the game wants to make sure you know who the characters are modeled after. For Edward is David Harbour, who I know as the Red Guardian in the Marvel movies, and Hellboy in the 2019 film. Emily is modeled after Jamie Comer, who I know for Killing's Eve, and her uncle Jeremy is Paul Mercier, which a lot of gamers will be familiar with as Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 4, the original one. There's a cool DLC feature for the main characters to have their original retro look in the game. As far as combat, you could use variations of firearms and have a set of melee weapons you could pick up on the go. The melee weapons can break though. I will advise to use the stealth approach. This game will have many sets of puzzles to solve in order to progress throughout the mansion. I say check out Alone in the Dark, it's a pretty cool horror game.
Hey you! What are you doing here? What is this place?
Turn back, detective. You're not wanted here.
Whoa, take it easy, I'm not your enemy!
Oh, you're wrong, detective. You're wrong!
The next game is The Sinking City. This is developed by Frogware. This game is about a private investigator named Charles Reed. He comes to Oakmount because he sees things, and this city calls to him. He wants to investigate why he sees these weird visions. The gameplay is over the shoulder, but combat can be quite different. I like the fact that you could craft things in this game. You can craft ammo, health items, grenade, and so on. As far as health, well, you have two health bars. One plays like a regular health bar. If you get hit a certain amount of times you die, pretty self-explained. Now with the second health bar, this is something that you have to look at often. This is your sanity meter. The more you uncover the truth from your investigations, the more sanity might deplete. And this could be anything from finding clues to being exposed to those eldritch creatures. Also, not only the lack of sanity kills Reed, but it also has some breaking the fourth wall effects on the player. The visuals will be distorted, and you will see some hallucinations on the screen. But my favorite one is when the screen is so distorted that even the cutscenes and the characters look weird.
I wasn't here to rob the place. He came to poison the fish.
By the sea. Are you sure?
Please, friend, don't take away my food.
Your food? This is stolen. This sack was meant to go to the hungry.
We are the hungry, mister.
You could fill up your sanity meter by using these antipsychotic drugs. I will say this, using items in this game could be a little frustrating because it's kind of used in real time. So make sure to be in a safe distance if you're using the item. This is somewhat an open world, and there's so many cases to crack in this game. You could travel by boat in some roads, since the city is flooded. And I like seeing the road signs to let you guide you where you're at. Fast traveling is also available once you find these phone booths in certain locations. but the challenging part is putting the pieces together in cases. This is where you have to think outside the box and investigate in different places like the police station, library, hospital, and so on, and research these cases in the archives. Oh, one more thing I have to mention. There's this music composition that I have noticed in this game's soundtrack. I recognize this song. It's called The Hive by Kevin Malloy. I bring this up because it's a pretty popular royalty-free song that I hear in a lot of horror-related YouTube videos. I thought that was pretty cool, and I feel like that piece of music fits well in this atmosphere in the sinking city. It's actually the music I'm using for this video as well. I think this game is pretty cool. Check it out. The last game is Call of Cthulhu. This is published by Focus Home and developed by Cyanide. In this game, you take the role of Edward Pierce. He's been hired to investigate the whereabouts of this family in Darkwater Island. He's also having nightmares which turn out to be premonitions. As far as the gameplay, it plays in first person and the main gimmick is solving cases. This also has the RPG level up mechanic, which I find very cool. This also affects your outcome with NPCs and conversations, but also outcome in puzzles. I'll explain. In this part of the game, if you have your strength level up, you could break through this door. However, if you level up your intelligence, you could solve a puzzle to this door.
Looks like it worked.
I do have to note that this game doesn't really have any combat, except for near the end of the game. But the key feature in this game is investigating the Hawkins family. There is stealth mechanics as well. There's areas that you could explore, but try not to get caught. You are trespassing after all.
What does this mean?
My favorite thing about this game would be the occult encounters. Like, wow. I'm not gonna spoil much, but there's this one creature that emerges from this painting, and it's a crazy puzzle. Let's just say that it involves stealth and trials and error. I think this game has a pretty cool narrative. Check it out. Overall, this was a very interesting journey into madness with our protagonist. I enjoyed the noir setting between the 1920s and the 1930s. I also enjoyed the replay values of these games. For Alone in the Dark, there is a new game plus. Once you beat the game, you can start the game with all access to the weapons you picked up in the first playthrough. However, I feel like the ammo could be limited.
I'm out of bullets.
So don't go running and gunning. This is a survival horror game after all. I also enjoyed the little callbacks from earlier games in the series. So, it is a shame due to poor sales, Pieces Interactive became defunct. And Sinking City, oh my gosh, this game could be quite addicting once you start doing the side quests and main missions. You get quite the rewards too. Also, there's so many outcomes that could happen to your playthrough and the NPCs depending on your choices in the game. This will be my favorite of the three, by the way, and I highly recommend this game. I will say this, it's not for everyone. But trust me, it's really good. For me, the game has a rough start because you're trying to figure out what to do while you're exploring the city. But once you know what to do, this game could be a masterpiece. There is a sequel coming up and I look forward to it. As far as Call of Cthulhu, I enjoy the investigations learning about the Hawkins and how it leads to the occult. I also appreciate the game to make Cthulhu subtle and not to be seen in plain sight. This game will test your patience, but everything you do will be rewarding, especially if you're trying to level up in this game. Alright, so that's my take on 3 modern Lovecraft games. Which one do you like? Do you know of any more? Feel free to leave some suggestions. Anyways, thanks for watching and I am out. Peace.